Hi, Vivas here, project lead for Fortress Connected. It's been a little while since our last update. We've got more stuff to show off, so how about we just jump right into it and share what we've been working on? Before we get too ahead of ourselves, we should answer some commonly asked questions. We've been getting a lot of questions about our custom classes. Will they be coming back? Well, the short answer is no. Long answer is, many of the custom classes featured in the original version of the game will not be making a return. This includes Saxton Hale, the Telecon from Fortress Obscura, or even Jerry the Antlion. However, other classes are still on the table for future inclusion, such as the Civilian from, at the time of writing, Team Fortress 2 Classic, or the Mercenary from Open Fortress. We want to ensure our custom experience is as polished as we can make it, so we're focusing on solely the Renegade as our flagship custom class. We've also engaged in internal discussion of including removed custom classes as non-playable characters. There is also a non-zero chance that in the future we make them playable again with an optional setting that server hosts can toggle. Half-Life Source. We see questions about Half-Life Source get asked a lot. Don't worry, we are paying attention. As of the time of writing this script, Half-Life Source doesn't have any legally distributed source code. However, the original version of Half-Life does. Because this code is under a separate license to the Source SDK we're using, we may not be allowed to use it. We're communicating with Valve to inquire whether or not we are allowed to port the code from the Half-Life SDK to the Source SDK. If we are allowed to use the code, it will take us some time to properly implement it into Fortress Connected, but we will do everything we can to make it happen. Will there be Portal 1 or 2 support? No. The source code for both Portal 1 and 2 are not publicly available, and it is too big of a task to recreate it from scratch as of right now. You are doing Left 4 Dead 1, why not Left 4 Dead 2? Left 4 Dead 1 is made on an older version of the source engine, meaning we can load the assets in FC much easier without the need to edit them. Left 4 Dead 2 is made on an updated branch of the source engine, which means that its assets cannot load so easily in the 2013 multiplayer source SDK we are built in. Now, we have experimented with Dead Center and have gotten it playable, but this does not mean we're going to do full support. So as of right now, Left 4 Dead 2 is out of the picture, but may be possible in the future. Now for gameplay. Half-Life 2. We've been hard at work updating all the Half-Life 2 maps to work better in a co-op environment, as well as adding some new areas for you to explore. Because there's so many changes, as well as for backwards compatibility, we've taken on a new naming scheme for our altered Half-Life 2 maps. An example would be FCHL2-01 Train 01 instead of D1 Train Station 01 for the first map of point insertion. However, if you want, you could still play the original unchanged Half-Life 2 campaign through the Create Server menu. Left 4 Dead. With Left 4 Dead support at the forefront of our efforts currently, we've made progress on recreating many of its mechanics, including the common and special infected, the AI director system, car alarms, weapons and ammo, timed buttons, game events, and so much more. The Left 4 Dead maps will also follow a naming scheme akin to the Half-Life 2 campaigns, and hopefully this can set an example for other mappers who create their own works that are specific to FC. Counter-Strike Source. As a side project, we've been working on recreating the Defusal and Hostage Rescue game modes from Counter-Strike Source, with support for modders to import the CSS maps directly into Fortress Connected. We're also experimenting with a currency system based on man vs. machines, with money being rewarded in a similar manner to Counter-Strike, kills, playing the objectives, etc. All buy zones are automatically replaced with the upgrade stations, which will require a key press to open as you would the buy menu from Counter-Strike. Now, MVM upgrades in a PvP context, especially in a gameplay loop like Counter-Strike's, are terrible to balance. So instead of having the original set of upgrades from the MVM campaigns, the player will see a new set of upgrades that'll be tweaked to work with the new game mode. Custom weapons. We've also been working on some custom weapons. A Combine Sniper Rifle deals extra damage and pierces resistances at the cost of less ammunition, reduced movement speed, and reduced charge rate. A yet-to-be-named Sapper. Sap enemy objects such as Combine technology to make them fight for your own cause. The Preliminary Prodigy. A stock melee reskin of a crowbar. Achievements. Everyone likes achievements, right? We've added a bunch of achievements to give yourselves more things to do when playing Fortress Connected. Try to complete them all and brag to your friends. We've also brought back some achievements from Half-Life, Left 4 Dead, and Counter-Strike, with some changes to better fit the various playstyles of the mercenaries. Quality of life features. Map base. We're integrating Map Base into Fortress Connected. If you aren't already aware, it's a mod for the Source SDK that adds a lot of behind-the-scenes quality of life features. Because of this, we're able to provide better support for more mods such as Entropy Zero. Custom UI changes and campaign progress. We've added in a system that can track campaign progress. This will show on the loading screen and scoreboard while in-game. And speaking of scoreboard, we've given it a little bit of an upgrade compared to our original design. We've added stats like current difficulty and campaign progress, and just an overall new coat of paint. Additional mod supports. We've also been working on adding extra support for other mods like Black Mesa Source, Hunt Down the Freeman, and most other Half-Life 2 or map-based mods. Steam Workshop. We have also been working on full Steam Workshop support. You can upload custom content to it like with Half-Life 2's for others to play with. Some of the developers and playtesters have already uploaded custom maps, models, mod compatibility EDTs, and more. Voice commands. As an optional replacement for the classic voice menu, we've implemented the radial menu from Left 4 Dead. We've also added a ping tool, just like Portal 2's, so you can mark things like enemies, supplies, locations, or just a silly little drawing on the wall you made out of bullet holes. Saving and loading your game. We've been working on a feature that allows for creating and loading saves within FC similar to the Half-Life 2 save system. You can run a quick save and a quick load when needed, or just save the game and load it back up from the Create Server menu later on when you want to play it again. Updated level transitions. Ever since our last devlog, we've been working on making a better functioning system for level transitions in multiplayer. The new system allows for things like health, ammo, ubercharge, heads, and even currently carried engineer buildings to be saved between levels. EDT Editor. We've talked before about the EDT system, a system like Synergies that allows for making edits to a map without requiring any modifications to the map file. In the past, you would have needed to create EDTs using a text editor, which we found to be quite daunting for some, especially for people that are just starting out with learning to make custom content. Well, now they may daunt no longer, for we're working on a dedicated in-game editor mode for the EDT system. We need help. While we continue to chug along at a steady pace, we may be able to pick up the pace if you think you can throw us a hand or two, preferably still attached to the rest of your body. We're primarily looking for programmers to help with coding and bug fixing, lots of stuff in the back end involving how the game functions at a base level. Animators to help us bring the new experiences to life, from actions such as planting C4 to using the gravity gun and driving around the coast in a scout car. Artists to help with the creation of graphical assets like achievement icons, kill icons, and much, much more. If you fall under at least one of these categories, and also the category of people who want to work on Fortress Connected, feel free to reach out. We won't bite. We might stick you in our development dungeon, though. Thank you for checking out this devlog. Remember to wishlist Fortress Connected on Steam if you haven't already.
They're defusing!
Oh
you,
my God.
you, what are you doing? Oh my God!
None of those were backstabs. It played the animation.